Welcome back to another edition of the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. We got the real Luis Ortega in the building. We got Reese in the building. TJ, what's going on, fellas? How's everyone doing? We'll start with TJ.
And just living the dream, watching all the motorcycles. That's what I love doing. And MotoAmerica had a big weekend with a lot of class racing and a lot of good results with a lot of manufacturers that I like. There's some 8 hour racing going on, so a lot happened. So I just
Yeah,
can't
man.
can't can't be mad at anything right now.
All right, listen,
That's
that's
that,
good, man, because there's a lot of things out there to be mad at. So
that's right.
when you find peace, man, that yeah, you didn't have to shave your head to get there, so that's pretty good.
Head is
Reese,
shaved, got no hair.
right, right. Reese, what's going on, man? You guys, as TJ is saying, it was a big weekend. You got all smiles. Do you guys some of the team members get to bring the trophy home?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good weekend. I mean, whoever accepts the team award, we get to take that one home. That's ours for the taking home.
Got you, got you. That's what's up. That's what's up. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. So things good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, we're looking up. I mean, we're right there. Had a good weekend. I mean, Bobby's on the tear,
Hey,
so
hey,
can't complain.
Well, listen, man. I mean, we tried early on, or maybe I tried early on to get you to, come off that tree a little bit, and you said, "No, we got something. We got something. We got something." And
I told you, there's something in the water, man. There's something coming, man. There's something
so,
coming. It's something special.
yeah, for sure, we're seeing it, man. Lewis, what's going on, man? How you doing this week?
Good, good, man. Here traveling for work, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to get to VIR because this trip conflicted a little bit. But I'm glad to see, uh, I'm glad to see that everything went good at VIR. Being from that area, the week before it was lava every day, so knowing that the guys were racing in like 80-degree weather is great because I know I've been to VIR when it's triple digits, and that's a miserable track to try to get around on when it's 100% humidity and 100 degrees. So
I
I'm
can
glad.
honestly say that
Yeah,
it was one. It was 90 degrees, but felt like 106 on Thursday. There was some people passing out on setup day.
Oh wow, that
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 was
that's
brutal.
that's some heat right there. So let's jump right
Okay.
into it, and I guess we'll start with you, Reese, and you were there. Your team did well. Come away with two first places over the weekend. Let's talk about the heat. Let's talk about you guys plan a little bit, but in Friday and stuff like that. How was that?
I mean, it was good. I mean, Friday, we did some laps. I mean, came around with the pole position. I mean, turned the fastest speed trap time, which was kind of different for us. I mean, we changed a couple setups for Bobby's bike, and he was happy with it. I mean, we still got get you got to get the other guy, Jake, up there. I mean, he's there. Just as there's no secret to that. He has the it's not arm pump. It's just fatigue, muscle fatigue. It's like we go to the gym.
Right.
But I mean, we're all right there. I mean, we're right where
Gotcha.
we need to be.
Now, I know you guys had done testing at that track early on, but I think it was rained out. So, was there any data that helped from that weekend to translate it over this past weekend?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we kind of knew what we were getting into. We knew the track. We knew the setup. The rain. Bobby was, as Lewis could tell you, Bobby's not a wet guy, but Richard will make you turn into a wet specialist once you get with Richard. Um, but now he doesn't mind the wet. But he coming into the dry. I mean, Bobby's very fast. So I mean, let's see what we got.
Nice, nice. TJ, I don't know if you got a chance to see the qualifying. If not, we can talk about the race. What are your thoughts overall on the race? Race one was pretty close. It was for me looking at it. I thought the Ducati was gonna run away with it, but that didn't happen. What are your thoughts on the race?
I mean, it was a nice battle, like seeing Cam and Josh Herron right up front, and Bobby fighting, trying to get his place in. And I was gonna say, ever since like early in the season, all the rain racing, and was talking to Reese about Bobby. to get in his like behind to get better in the rain. He's been on a tear ever since. So it's really cool to see how hot he's been, even though like I look at like Yamaha factory, like Jake Gagne is like the one to beat basically. But Bobby, for his first time on Yamaha, new team and just coming out really hot at this time of the year is really good to see for him to get the win for race one. So that was really good.
Nice, nice. Lewis, man, what about yourself? What are your thoughts on race one? Cam was looking really good as well. To me, he seems like he's still kind of struggling with staying on the bike a bit and just running up front. But when he's up there, he can run with these guys. What are your thoughts on race one?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what Cam's issue is, man, because it's some races he's super competitive, other races like he kind of struggles. He becomes a mid-pack rider. I know that talent-wise, the guy has the talent to run at the front with anybody. So I don't want to blame the bike, but it's got to be something with the bike or the bike setup or something is not giving him the comfort to race at the front where he should be on a consistent basis. We'll talk about race two when race two comes up. But again, inconsistency has been one of his Achilles heels. He started the year pretty consistent, and then at some point in the year, something happened, and he started to become very, very inconsistent in the top three, out of the top three, not finishing in the top five. Struggling mid-race, losing pace, super strong at the beginning of the race, crashing. I mean, it's just been a real roller coaster year for him. And I don't want to say it's him because, I mean, the dude knows how to ride. He's been around enough tracks and done enough laps. So is it something with the bike? Is it something with him physically that still hasn't recovered? Because, I mean, the last couple of years, he has been beat up more than just about any racer in MotoAmerica. Multiple concussions, contusions. Maybe it's just getting to that point where his body is starting to give him some feedback on, hey, man, I can't keep doing this consistently. And, he did great this weekend overall, but we'll see how it goes. He's got to get that consistency back because if he can't, then he's got to look at something else, man. Maybe it's just he's not gelling with that package. He's not gelling with the BMW. Maybe the team isn't gelling with him. Something's got to change. A guy with that kind of pedigree, he's got to look for options. He's at the tail end of his career, realistically, and the last thing you want to do is spend the last couple of years of your life, riding around in eighth place just to get a check. These guys at the front, they're competitive, man. They want to wake up every weekend and know they have a chance to win, or at least get on the podium. And when that starts to become a little bit of a distant thing in the rearview mirror, like you start to lose your drive to get up every morning and do this. Like, why am I doing this, man? For eighth place? I got a lot of money in the bank, man. I don't need to do this.
All right. I'll pose this to all you guys. Do you think with the issue like with Cam, and not necessarily issue, but the inconsistency, and we could say, and I think of Sean Dylan Kelly in the same breath as well. These guys, do you think it's something that's just coming from Moto2 back over to the U.S. having to sort that out, or in Cam's case, just having one bike on the grid instead of two to have a teammate to bounce stuff off of? What do you guys think? Let's start with Reese.
I mean, that is a definite fact. I mean, not having two riders on the team, that is definitely hard because, as a crew member, and I learned over the years, a lot of riders like, oh, it's the bike. When it's not the bike and you don't have nothing to bounce over to or figure out what's going on, when sometimes it can be the rider or, this rider, it's two different things. So having two riders in the same box definitely helps and plays a factor in it. So and coming back from Moto2, no, I mean, you got to look at Sean Dylan Kelly. Sean Dylan Kelly coming back from Moto2, riding with those guys over there, when he was first here, he wasn't that type of rider. He come back over here, this guy's on a new tear. He's a lot more aggressive, and he rides with it more of it. If you watch him, little techniques, he rides more with his elbows out. Same thing with Cam. Cam's starting to ride with his elbows out. So, I mean, coming back from Moto2, it does help him. It gives him that little bit more aggressive edge and kind of learn how to more manage tires and push it to that ultimate limit. So that's there. And, to speak on Cam, I don't know if it's the bike or it's him, but it's like, I mean, just being honest, you got to look at this. A lot of people know that the BMW is fast. It is fast in a straight line. But outside of one rider, top rack, how many times do you see the BMW up top?
Yeah.
It's not.
All right, TJ, you want to add anything to that?
I mean, I agree everything we're reset pretty much. But I just think that Cam is just still figuring out the BMW in a way, or it's just so they just have the right setup at the times they need it. He's definitely been not as aggressive. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's just more relaxed of just competing and not trying not to crash and just trying to get points and tail it out to the end of the season. But I think he can do a lot better. I think it's just he's trying to pick out the BMW a little more. Um, Shonda and Kelly has been doing really good. So I'm actually happy we haven't talked about race 2, but it's really good to see, one of my favorite bands, Suzuki, up there. To stir up the pot a little bit, we always see the same manufacturers and, we want to see the season shake up a little bit, but at this point, the points is where they're at. But it's good to see Suzuki up there.
Yeah, for sure. Let's jump into race 2, and guys, feel free to jump into anything else. I was surprised that the Suzuki's was going to get second and third. I think maybe even the Suzuki guys might have been surprised at that. As you mentioned, Sean Dylan Kelly's been close, but it's been the Yamaha and the Ducati show, except were you surprised, Reese, how well the Suzukis were doing in race 2?
I mean, I was very surprised. I mean, and that we was all kind of taken back. Like, I mean, to watch Richie do what he did, and some of there was one of the passes he did on Gagne and Sean Dylan Kelly was top notch, but it was to the limit. But he was one of the fastest guys out there besides Bobby on that track. I mean, his splits were second to none. Like, it was like he's coming.
All he needed was wings, man. He was missing the wings. If he had the wings, it would have been a wrap. That new Suzuki is going to be a wrap with the wings.
like Red Bull gives you wings.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Only back on the track without wings.
Yeah,
The Suzuki 1000. Even the R7 has wings. The R9 has wings. Once the Suzuki has wings, you guys are in for it, man. I'm just telling you.
Call the R9 wings? That look like fangs.
So what you're saying, Lewis, is that the 2026 Jixxa is going to be a problem?
It's going to be a problem.
Oh, yeah, it is.
All right. Got wings. That's all it takes.
With less power.
Man. You're right.
Yeah, it's less power when you buy it, but it's already built with high compression, so you can get more power out of it after you take it outside of the Euro 5 rules or Euro 5B, whatever they're at now. So
Euro 5 is a bunch of bullshit.
You take the power away when you sell it, but you build the motor in a way that you can build it up to get more power after you flash the ECU and do the exhaust and do the airbox and this and that and all the things that you can do. So you build the power plant so that you can overbuild the power plant later on. So you detune it so that you can uptune it later. Come on, man. It's got wings.
All right.
Right.
Wings are good for 3 miles an hour, at least 3 miles an hour.
Shave some weight, add some wings. What are we going to do for electronics?
I mean, it doesn't matter. At SuperBikes, once they become SuperBike, they rip that entire dashboard out and they put a full electronics package.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see what that bike can do. I mean,
I'm ready, though. Finally, they actually did something to update it a little bit. I mean, the bodywork all still look the same.
It's got the same dashboard. They haven't put color on the dashboard, man. Like, how much does it cost to put color on the dashboard? Like $50?
bikes shouldn't be coming with single color screens anymore.
Green and gray.
Yeah.
You mean green and gray shouldn't be colors on a screen? They should
No,
probably have
no.
some red.
Hey man, it's all bold new graphics with wings.
TJ, what are your thoughts on what the Suzuki did? I know you're a huge fan of Suzuki. You've owned about 10 of them.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
yeah. Don't be sorry for me. See, I'm here to. When I ride, I'm here. I ride clean. Like I'm respectful. You look at my bike, my tires, whatever. You be like, oh, he can ride, but I'm not out there with t-shirt or repping the Gixxer way. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here to clean slate that. You know what I'm saying? But the 2026, I think for the street version is really good. Like they got a lot of text added to it, like traction control, wide by throttle, launch control. They just added a lot of new features to the bike, which is what is needed. Unfortunately, the frame and the body work looks still the same in the headlight, but for the most part, I'm excited for what this bike and what it's gonna become.
Okay.
And we'll see. We'll test ride it and see what it's like.
Right. And so were you surprised like everyone else what they Suzuki did, Sean Dillon Kelly and Richie did? And it was pretty impressive.
I'm more surprised at what Richie did because don't really hear his name too often. Like the Daytona 200, he's pretty competitive in, but when it comes to like the actual racing, he's not always up front. So I'm surprised that he did really well at this track. And I actually seen him in person at Loudon too, so seeing him how he can ride in different tracks is really cool. Sean didn't tell you know where he came from. Definitely rode really well. They definitely had a good package set up for them to finish second and third. So whatever they had instructed to them, they followed it to the T and performed really well. So it was very impressive for that. But yeah, I'm most impressed about Escalante.
Got you. Anything you want to add to that, Lewis, before we talk about Heron and his crash and how he got back up on a bike to at least get 1 or 2 points?
No, I mean I agree with everything. I'm definitely happy to see Suzuki competitive. I mean, at the beginning of the year, a lot of people said that the bike overall had a lot of grip, and the bike overall had a lot of top end, and it's just trying to put all together all the pieces. Because again, you can have a lot of grip and a lot of top end, but if you don't have a lot of edge grip, if you don't have a lot of this, a lot of that, I mean, if you look at both of the Suzukis towards the end of each race, coming on a straightaway, man, those bikes were dancing out of the last corner down a straightaway, wheeling. I mean, the electronics package was having a heart attack trying to keep up with everything they're doing because they're trying to squeeze everything they can. And it's great to have grip and it's great to have power, but if you can't put it to the ground in a good way, then, again, you're going to get eaten up on the straightaways. You're going to lose a lot of cornering. So what Richie did in a couple of the corners where he kind of cut the double right-hander, I think this turn 3-4, and he was able to slide in under somebody in the brakes. And it's a really short corner-to-corner shot. So if you go around that one left-hander, before you get to that next left-hander, that's a really short corner. And you got to really overslow the bike if you got that shallow inside line. So for him to kind of get it underneath Cameron and Jake in that area, that's – that just shows the dude had ultimate confidence in his front end, and they gave him something, at least on the front end, they gave him that confidence. So I'm hoping that from here, Suzuki can keep building on this, and hopefully we can see those bikes on the podium a little bit more often. And hopefully before the end of the year, one of them maybe gets a top spot on the podium.
Nice. Yeah, man. Josh Heron crashed out. I mean, you side, Reese, you were there. He was riding on the limits. I mean, he was trying to pull away a little bit. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you go back to what I said earlier about if he had a teammate, would it be a little bit better for him as well? Because he's carrying the load and he's fighting with 2 Yamahas, which either one has the potential to win. And at the moment, Bobby could be able to win the championship.
How do I put this? I mean, watching Aaron crash. I mean, I said in the beginning. I said, I mean, the points value was so close. I mean, there was no. There's no room for any kind of error from anybody. I mean, any error is going to open the championship wide open. But Heron was pushing on the limit. He did tuck the. If you watch it, he tucked the front. But as we was all stating, Heron is very smart. And if Heron would have got out front, Heron was going to play the game of trying to control the race and control the race pace, where Bobby can't get in front or late break or try to keep Bobby behind him. Because no matter how you did it or how you played it, Bobby was going to get in front of him because Bobby was faster than Heron all weekend. Bobby was the fastest one out there. So if Bobby can stiff it up, and as Lewis knows, Bobby's not the dude to play with. He's coming for you. You know, he is somebody to come for you. He's coming. So, but Heron can play the game very well. Heron's very smart. He's a veteran. You know, he's been in the game for years and years. He's done it with Eslick. He's done it with a lot of guys. So he could get out front, slow that pace down, block past you, frustrate the heck out of you, and make you wear out faster than he is, you know. So, but just not having that extra blockage or that extra guy out there, like you said, he's carrying the whole weight of that team.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, I mean, race one was good with, Aaron finished in the top. But the second race, it was a bummer to see him going down. I like to see competitive racing. But like Reese was saying, Bobby pretty much had it on lock, from the beginning of the weekend till race two. I mean, race one, he won by, I think, like 8 seconds or something like that. So, like, he was, I feel like he was just ready for the weekend. And I feel like Heron knew what he had to lose and just was a little aggressive. Didn't want to see Bobby get out front like that. And unfortunately took the front. But we know he's a fighter. And like I said, he still was able to get back on the bike and still was able to salvage a couple of points. Was definitely necessary because now the championship's wide open between three riders. So,
yep.
Yeah, it is. What are your thoughts, Lewis? And just touch on the championship being open a little bit because three different manufacturers, pretty dope. And what are we talking? Less than 16 points between 1 and 3.
I mean, this is racing. We know what happens. You can you try to get that big lead at the beginning of the year or try to get a lead and try to maintain it. But you're always 1 or 2 crashes or mechanical away from the championship getting tight again. And it just happened that Bobby's coming on strong the last 2 events. I mean, they've made a big deal out of it because it hasn't happened in a while, but he's won. For him, it's never happened. I mean, he's won 4 in a row. Never happened. That's a hell of an accomplishment for him in general. But I guess he's getting that confidence and the team is helping him and everything's kind of coming together just at the right time where he was able to pull off some good victories, gather back a bunch of points. And then the second day, Heron just happened to throw the bike down the road and Bobby was there to capitalize. Bobby was there to pick up the pieces, do what he has to do. I mean, during the race, I'll be honest with you, as the race went on, I kept thinking to myself, like, I wonder if they should put something out on the pit board to like let Bobby know, like, you can kind of chill a little bit. But the problem with Bobby is if you tell Bobby to chill, he'll probably throw it in the dumpster too because he's not thinking at 100%. And you don't want Bobby not thinking 100%. If he's thinking 100%, he doesn't make mistakes. It's when he doesn't think at 100% that he makes mistakes. So you better off, you know what? Let him go a second and a quarter faster than everybody else. Because as soon as I tell him to slow down by a quarter second, the crash truck's going to go out and get the bike. So just let him ride his ride. And I mean, he won the first race by 7 seconds. He won the second race by 14 seconds. Right. And at the end of the race, the 2 fastest guys out there, I mean, he was still lapping faster by a second than almost everybody else. And so, I'm glad that it's kind of come together for him. The next 3 rounds are going to be really interesting because Mid-Ohio is a good place for Bobby. He did well last year, but Mid-Ohio is a good place for Heron. So maybe these guys kind of are a little bit more level playing field and can battle out a little bit more there. We'll see what Cam brings to that next event. and with everybody else. But at least now, it's not a runaway. So nobody's winning with 2 rounds left. At least I hope not. If everything goes well, it'll hopefully come down to like the last event of the year to decide the championship. And that's what I want to see. And 3 different manufacturers. We got a Ducati, we got a Yamaha, and we got a BMW. So everything is coming together really, really nicely, man. I like everything that I've seen. I mean, even the Honda was right there in the top 5 or 6. Gillen was like, if one of you crash, I'm gonna be in 5th. He was there. Like, just take him out. Just you take him out, and then both of you out, and I'm in the top 3 or 4. But that's what you got to do sometimes. If you don't have the bike to be 100% competitive, just stay close enough and push. And sometimes pushing from the back is just enough for that guy to make that mistake.
Right.
To cut the front. I haven't talked much to Bobby, but the brief conversation we had, he's kind of said that he saw that Herron was pushing really, really hard in some places to try to stay in front to slow the pace down, to not give Bobby that free rein to kind of set his own pace. And maybe by disturbing Bobby's pace, again, he'll fluster Bobby into making a mistake. And then he ended up making the mistake because he was thinking so hard about keeping Bobby behind him that, he ran in a little bit too hot, overcooked the front tire and went down. But this is racing, man. This is what real racecraft is you're constantly thinking, man. You're constantly calculating. You're out there on the track calculating. Before you get on the track, you already have ideas. You have plans. If this person's doing this, I'm going to do this. If this person's doing this. So, this is you have no idea the amount of prep, like real prep, on top of the exercise and on top of everything else, like just the prep, the strategy that people sit down and think about. I mean, guys sit down and run the race in their head 2 or 3 times before they ever set foot out of the trailer, because they're trying to think about every possible scenario that can happen. And how do I adjust to that scenario? And how do I adjust to this? And how do I, if this happens, what do I do? So once they're out there riding, it's second nature. They don't have to start processing.
Right. So let me ask this to you guys, and I'll start with Reese. And I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what Lewis is saying. First, with Bobby has done something he's never done before. But you also heard Lewis talk about all the planning. Obviously, Reese, what goes on more than we do on the inside. So from the beginning of the season, Reese, till now, how are the plans changing? Because he's first year on the bike. He's the lead in the championship. He's the lead in Yamaha. I don't think you guys thought this was what's going to happen when you signed him. Maybe you saw something we didn't. So what is the mood like? I mean, you guys just won over the weekend, so maybe this is going to happen this week. Are things changing much, or is it just business as usual? And you're just looking at those 4 wins as just, hey, we'll take them, but we weren't looking for them.
I mean, we look at it as business as usual. I mean, but then you also you do plan, but then plans change day to day, race to race. When we were like, hey, let's get in the battle. We want to be in the battle. We want to be here. Let's finish top 3. Let's be on the podium. We want to be here. Now you're at that sniffing point. You could be like, all right, what are we gonna do here? It's gonna change. The plans that we had in the beginning. I mean, we always want to win. That's the number one goal. We are the premier team. We are one of the top teams, but we want to win. We plan. We're not. We're here to win. But now you go into Mid Ohio with a different mindset, a different plan, and we see how it is. The one thing about, like Lewis said, I mean, the Mid Ohio's track, the configuration and the layout of it is almost like a layout of VIR. It's almost like a same kind of layout as VIR. So we go in there with the mindset of, hey, let's go out here, set the pace. Let's see how we set up. And I mean, we went out there for testing. We was out there for testing there too. So let's put it down.
Okay. What are your thoughts, TJ? Any advice you want to give the Attack Yamaha how to do things differently for the next round?
Buy Suzukis.
You might gotta wait till next year for that one.
because from a fan perspective, right? You're seeing something that hasn't happened, and you're like you're cheering on, and it's like you don't want to get too excited, right? Because you don't want to jinx it, right?
I mean, so watching Bobby, having the reporter talk to Bobby, they were like, "Yeah, how's it feel to have 3 races in a row?" And and he's just like, "Oh yeah," like he didn't want to talk about it. It was more like he didn't want that pressure or that jinx on him because of where he's at right now is just how humble he is. But I think they're going into the next round. I think it'll be set up really well going into Mid Ohio. I think it's Bobby's show now. I think he can get a fifth. So he's the one to chase. Obviously, he's in the lead. Um, but I just can't wait to the next round to see what's going to happen. But I think it's very
Right.
impressive. They'll have 4 wins in a row. I don't think anyone expected that. And like I said before, Jay Gagne was always the one that I watched on Attack Yamaha as the lead rider. It's cool to see Bobby stepping in and I don't want to say helping out Jake, but it's a team effort. It's good to see Attack Yamaha still in the top 5 at least, always every race.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Anything you want to add, Lewis?
No, that's it, man. I'm glad to see just overall the championship being competitive the way it is. There's more than just one manufacturer running away with it. There's more than just one rider running away with it. And I really, more than anything, like I said before, I really want to see it go down to the last race of the year, man. That's what makes championships great, when they come down to that last race of the year and everything's on the table and you got to just make it happen. That's what we race for. I think so.
Yeah, I agree. Let's talk about Super Sport. The Yamaha's there too, man. Looking real well. I feel bad for PJ. He doesn't really have any Ducati help around him.
I don't. That's what happens when you cry like a little baby and talk shit.
Tell us how you really feel, man.
Hey, call a spade, bro.
Yeah, I'm the last one to say anything. You know that.
Exactly. I gotta call a spade, man. Listen, I love PJ, but listen, I coming from the basketball world. I ain't crying. I'm like, all right, I got you. I'll be right back.
And that's the thing, man. You really can't talk a lot of smack. Blake Davis is looking really good, even though he finished 4th. Cam was there, but it felt like it was the Yamaha boys all the way. What are your thoughts, TJ?
Yeah, for I'm actually excited to see how Blake has been improving from this point on, from last couple rounds on to this season. I think he's really fast and very smart, and he's like a little silent assassin. Like he's not complaining about anything, and he's keeping up with the fast guys. Uh, Schultz, I feel like he's just I don't know. It's hard to explain. I mean, I feel like before he's always been fighting to try to be number one. He's finally gotten there. So it's just hard to stay at that top level, and obviously there's controversy between him and TJ. So it's kind of fun to see the camaraderie, but it was nice to see Josh Hayes out there. For his age, also to finish 5th. Even though he was 32 seconds behind the leader, but still, it's still it's nice to see him out there. He can still do it. So
Yeah, he got a 5th and 6th place. I mean, not bad.
yeah. So I just know him as more being a mentor at this age and learning more from him too. So it's good to see him put it out. So I think overall this the SuperBike race was pretty nice.
Got you. Lewis, man, I know you heard Reese talk about Jacob PJ and talking smack, so he's not getting the help. But is it really just that he's just not getting the help, or should they be expecting more from Corey and Kayla? More so
No,
Corey,
I mean,
maybe.
I think they might have expected a little bit more from Corey, because last year, I remember him being a little bit more competitive some of the rounds. From Kayla, I mean, I've said since the beginning of the year, if she's in the top 7, that's like a win, because the
Right.
top 4 or 5 are sharks. Like
Yeah.
you're swimming with the great white sharks there. So if she's finishing in 5th, 6th, or 7th, they should consider that a win. I outside of a rain race and maybe like a situation where like 2 of the top 5 guys take each other out, I really don't see her getting into the top 3 anytime soon. The top 3 or 4 are just, and even 5 are just so fast, man. They're so fast. And they're such high quality riders. I mean, combined, between PJ and Matthew, they probably got like 80 years of experience at high level racing. Kayla is still young. Blake is still young. For Blake to even be in the top 5 himself is really a testament to how fast a learner he is and how he really wants to be at the front and is very competitive. And Corey, Corey's been around again. He's a long time veteran. He's racing a lot of different classes. He's won a couple of races here and there, but he's always been that perennial mid-pack, upper mid-pack rider. So I think the Ducati team is right where they should be. I don't think they expect anything more, anything less from the people that are on there. They know Kayla is going to finish where she's going to finish. Corey's going to do more or less what he's going to do. And PJ is the one that they were expecting big things from, because obviously what was it, a year ago? Was it a year ago or 2 years ago that Xavi Flores came and wiped up the class with a V2, like they owed him money? And it's like, well, the bike's great because this guy that never rode on these tracks showed up and showed that as good of a bike is, the quality of the rider makes a ton of difference. And so they thought that, PJ would be that saving grace for Ducati again this year, but it doesn't look like Ducati is going to be able to reclaim that championship spot again. It seems like Yamaha is now claiming the super sport class for themselves between the R6 and now the R9.
Yeah, I agree. I think next year Kayla will do better, but I think in general, I don't know if the Davis or Schultz is going to go anywhere from Yamaha, where it's still they're going to have to get faster. Corey's going to have to get faster. Kayla's going to have to get faster, and I was trying to see who's leading the championship in Super Sport. I believe it's Schultz.
Schultz. If you look at it across the board, from World Superbike to MotoAmerica to the R9 is leading every Super Sport class right now.
Yep. Yeah. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive in of itself. But
you mean the 100% stock R9?
It is stock. I don't know what you're talking about.
There might be stuff with some stuff in it. It's pretty impressive. Let's move over to the 8-hour Suzuka. Pretty impressive. Honda did it with on 2 riders. I earlier this year I did a 5-hour race with 5 riders. And I was hurting after that, and I think I did an hour tops. What do you guys thought of the race, the 8-hour endurance race? Should we see more of that maybe in the US on a bigger stage than the club race and stuff that we see?
I would say, yeah. That'd be nice to actually see it here. That'd be something different. To challenge America, to challenge our riders, and see how it works out. That would be something different for here. I would like to see it.
Got to nudge Yamaha to bring some American riders over.
We got to get over there first.
I guess when Jack Miller's showing up, it might be hard, huh?
Yeah, we got to get over there first.
Go ahead, TJ.
I was gonna say, obviously I didn't watch the whole 8-hour race, but I thought that it was pretty cool to see, 3 different manufacturers finish. First of all, Honda winning it for all the bad rap Honda's been getting all year. for them to win it and for Yamaha and Suzuki to be up there is pretty cool. I think it would be very nice to see it in the United States. I think Coda would be a really good track to do it at. Obviously, we do MotoGP there. It's a big venue people know about. And who wouldn't want to see motorcycles run for 8 hours? I think it would be cool over here. But you know,
I would need a bed.
but yeah, I think it's really cool with all the lights and just seeing bikes at night in general, with just the setup and how it's still safe in a way. They got everything set up for all that, so it's pretty cool. I think it would happen once a year over there.
Yeah, some huge names have done it in the past. So, it's like a badge of honor or a rite of passage for some of these riders to go out there and participate in that. What are your thoughts, Louis?
I mean, I would like to see something bigger than what happens now with like the Weir Endurance and things like that, because the Weir Endurance races, some of them do get a lot of spectators out, and some of them do have some pretty decent cash prizes. But years ago, I mean, Daytona was the place that people from all over the world would come to try to race that event. And Daytona is the only event that has the pit stop, the one pit stop that kind of adds a little bit something different. If they stretch Daytona out to make it an endurance race, now you have multiple pit stops, you have rider changes, you have more opportunities to get more riders on bikes because you have to have a 2 or 3 man team. So you can get more names to come. The prize money would need to go up, but I think it's possible if the right people do it. But either Daytona or Coda or someplace that has the allure to bring people, and there has to be money, man. Nobody wants to fly out to the U.S. and race for $15,000. If you tell them, hey, the prize money for this event is $500,000 across the 2 or 3 riders, there's going to be a lot of people showing up because $500,000 is still a lot of money to a lot of people. There's a lot of guys racing MotoGP now that ain't making $500,000 a year. League minimum is like $100,000.
I mean, the one thing though, Daytona's got to fix their track. That track is bad.
Infield,
the old shit,
outfield, parking lot.
And then another thing, they got to stop being so damn expensive. It's like, get off your high horse.
Oh, yeah. Daytona, just to get in, it's a premium price at Daytona compared to all other tracks I've been to.
I mean, Coda's not cheap either, but at least Coda has the facilities to back up the price tag.
Right.
Daytona is, this
a shitbox.
Shitbox, man.
I'm gonna call it.
Daytona International Shitbox Raceway.
I'm sorry, I love it, but dang, man, fix this.
Right. Hopefully it'll get. Somebody got to pull out a paycheck, and that's the biggest problem. Nobody wants to pay, and I was talking to somebody about this about computer devices earlier. People use devices that are 8 years old because they don't really get that you really need to make a change to be more efficient. And Daytona for what it was, it's not the same thing, and they're still charging prices like they're bringing in the same audience from years ago. And that's unfortunate, but hopefully it'll change. You never know. Loudon has a classic, and it's close to $500,000. I don't think somebody want to be on that track for 8 hours though.
I don't remember 8 minutes, 1 lap.
That's it.
The bike around for 8 minutes.
One lap wonder. That's it. I'm out. I'm done. I survived hell. I'm out.
Yep. You think people would survive that banking though? Doing for 8 hours around that banking?
I mean, that's just going to require more tire changes, man.
Yeah.
For me, that just makes it more exciting.
I guess tire changes and a mental state. Imagine, your brain giving out on that banking.
Oof. Oh yeah, right? yeah. That's true. I don't know if Zarco and the other guy could have done it for 8 hours at Daytona.
I would want to see it just to see how far Jack Miller's going to launch a bike at that track.
Probably over to Daytona Airport.
Hit my man at the airport.
Jack Miller's I did see that.
big crashes, bro. He's had some big crashes.
He just showed up and then threw his bike up into the sky.
He doesn't crash.
Yeah.
Hard sales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes full like you ain't getting any parts off of this bike.
That was bad, man. That was horrible.
Oh, man.
Were there any other MotoGP riders in the Suzuka? It was good to see Zarco obviously be on the podium, and then Jack Miller for Yamaha. But I don't know if anyone else.
Luca Marini was he was supposed to
right.
be there, but he was hurt. Navora, but I think he's in World Superbike now. So yeah,
I think that was it, man.
I think
that was it.
Yeah.
Right.
Some of these
good endurance for them.
They may not want to, or it's not in their clause. I don't know. But it's a rite of passage, so it's pretty cool. Let's talk about World Superbike. Happened a weekend ago now in Hungary. It seems like Top Rock is trying to show that he's above and beyond the rest of the world Superbike riders, and he should be in MotoGP. What are your thoughts on what he's doing?
I mean, I definitely say he is above the rest in that class. I mean, that's where I stated before. I mean, he's the only one that can actually ride a BMW without him feel like he's wanting to die. So
is that inside information?
You can see that on the track.
I mean, he is absolutely the only one. I mean, he's top notch, man. That's where he's at. He's like us old dogs, what we call the aliens. He is one of them.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, TJ, on what he did? And it's a new track for World Superbike. A lot of crashes in the first race. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly what happened because I watched a lot of races.
I know he crashed out. Those brothers crashed out.
I do remember
race one.
Race one was like 15, like 10 riders crashed at one time in like turn 3. It was like crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Top Rack is obviously back on his level, I would say. It's weird, like I don't understand like how he can ride the BMW like that. Like even when he was on the team last year when he had like Garrett and the other riders with him, and they just couldn't understand as well. Like Scott Redden, they couldn't understand it. He's just an animal. But he's a good rider in this class, as Reese was saying. He has another level to step to going to GP. But I mean, he's proven it. He won all 3 races going into that weekend, and I mean, he's winning by a couple seconds. So.
Right. And Lewis, TJ said something about he's able to ride the bike on that level. Do you feel like they're giving him the bike that he can just it's a consistent bike? So because when the bike is doing the same thing, you can know how to play, right? if it's when it's making the same mistakes at the same time, you can figure that out. With inconsistency, it's really hard to ride a bike. Do you think they're giving him that kind of bike to ride where all these other guys they're struggling?
No, I think they've given him just enough of a platform and a base platform where he can maximize the bike with his talent. I like to compare him maybe a little bit to, a Casey Stoner or a Marc Marquez, these guys that don't need a perfect bike to go fast. They just need a bike that's fast enough. And if the bike is 95, 96%, they can make that other 3, 4, 5% just with their own talent. So they just have to get close, because if the bike was perfect, then why aren't the rest of the riders that are on BMWs right up at the front with him? Because the bike's not perfect. He's able to work around or drive around these issues that other people have. He's able to find a way to make it work, whether it's, adding more lean angle with his body or braking in a different way, or, just doing stoppies into every corner so that he doesn't have to give up the top end speed of the bike earlier and then lose the gains that he had on the straightaway, lose him going to the corner because he had to brake earlier. He just finds a way to stop the bike from a higher speed in a shorter distance, even if it means the back tire coming up in the air and right before you tip in, the bike's all squirrely. He's finding a way to manage all that, get to the corner, get to the apex, make the slowest part of the corner as small as possible and get back on the gas. Because that's where the BMW is strong. It's strong on the gas. It's never going to be great on the side of the tire. I mean, he makes it great on the side of the tire, again, because he's learned how to ride around the problems of the bike. So I'm going to say the bike is probably at 95%. And then the other 5%, he's squeezing it out with his talent. Because if it was 100% good, then there'd be 5 BMWs up at the front.
Like what Ducati was doing. And let's talk about Ducati on that. What's happening in the Ducati camp from the outside looking in? Bulega is a second-year rider in World Superbike on a factory team. He's actually he's overperforming. From last year to this year, he's been overperforming. So you really can't. He shouldn't be the guy that should be beating Top Rock right now. What's going on in Ducati? Are they missing something? Are they, why can't they get it together? And because they really, it should be Batista that's fighting with Top Rock, not Bulega. So is it just contract issues, or it's time for a change over there? Start, Reese.
It might be time for a change. It might be just time for a change to find that aggressive rider that can ride the bike to its full potential. I mean, Batista had the weight restriction. He had that issue, and that could have messed up a lot of settings on the bike. Bulega's riding, at a great potential, but at the end of the day, you're trying to go up against Top Rock. I mean, Top Rock is in a league of his own. I mean, you got to find that next caliber rider that can match a Top Rock. Because, if once Top Rock leaves, it technically should be the way it looks. It should be the Bulega show.
Right.
So Bulega's number 2 in that series. It should be the Bulega show. It should be his championship, his series a win. And from what I heard, they're talking about now looking at re-signing Albert Batista.
I heard that too.
Yep.
I heard that too, which is interesting. Well, I'll go to TJ in a little bit on that, but it sounds like Petrucci might be going to BMW taking Top Rock seats. So maybe they were looking at Petrucci, but he went to a factory BMW instead. Well, it seems to be
a bad move.
What are your thoughts, TJ? I think so too. I hope he stays with Ducati.
It's just must be a really, really good relationship because they're sticking with the old guy. He's not performing terrible. He has won championships in the past, but like with the weight restrictions and all that stuff, like you guys mentioned, it threw Ducati off a little bit because now they have to revert back to something else when they're trying to go forward this way. And you want the rider to be comfortable with the package you give them to perform well. And I don't know if it's a good decision for them to stick with Bautista. As far as Bulega, I know, at the beginning of the season, the times he had the mechanical issues, and when he crashed out, when he crashed, he would react so wildly, crying, smashing the bike and stuff like that, because he knows how important it is to for this championship. Because now you see that Top Rock being Top Rock still overtook the lead. It's so hard to win a championship. So, but I think it'll be a Bulega show for sure going into the next round once Top Rock leaves. But hopefully Bautista can get some restrictions taken off of the bike to perform a little better as well.
He just needs to eat a little bit more, man.
Right? If he actually eats a little more, he could take away pounds from the bike. That might be actually a better deal to do than add a weight to the bike. So,
all right, talk to somebody so you can add weight to his load.
Yeah.
Probably.
I gained 5 pounds. Yeah, take that off.
Take that off. For real. What are your thoughts on Ducati, Lewis? Man, I mean, it does seem like Top Rock is going to run away with it, and Ducati's doing everything that they can do, but they're not getting the results they're expecting.
Yeah, I mean, like you said before, Bulaga has been punching outside his weight class since he came in the series. I mean, he came in the series, kicking indoors and saying, this is where I belong. And he proved it. Like, he was winning a lot of races. And even this year, he's won a lot of races. He's second in the championship again. But he comes across a couple of points in the season. It happened last year and it's happened this year where he just runs into a series of unfortunate events. He gets taken out. He takes himself out. He has mechanical issues. Like it's a bunch of different things that have come together that have hindered him to even stay right at the front with Top Rack in a lot of the races. And I mean, he's still within striking distance in the points. It's not like he's out of the points. But now he needs Top Rack to make some mistakes or have some mechanicals or something else. Like he needs some additional help. Because even if he runs the table from here to the end of the year, which is not possible in that series, he needs Top Rack to have a couple of bad finishes so he could chip away at the lead.
Right.
I think what Ducati should have done really is they should have looked for another young talent and brought a new young talent into that squad, somebody that has a lot of potential that they can work with Bulaga and have a 1-2 punch that could last for the next 5, 7, 8 years. Because Bulaga is still young, and you bring another young guy in, and between those two guys, they stay on World Superbike on your factory team for 4, 5, 6 years, and they can pretty much dominate. Because I don't see anybody competing with Bulaga next year once Top Rack's gone. I'm sorry. I look at the rest of the field, and I see second place. Again, minus Bulaga having mechanicals or crashing himself out, when Top Rack and Bulaga are at the front, I mean, these guys are winning by a country mile.
Yeah, and you mentioned his crashes and TJ how he react. Do you when you play sports or anything, when you lose and it's on you, usually not as mad as when when you lose, but the other person is better. Right, because those crashes, the way he reacted to them is almost like he knew they were crucial to the championship. Where it's like some people crash and they know they'll get those points back down the road. Do you think he's looking at it like that? Like I'm running out of chances and I don't have time for mistakes. And there's a better rider out here.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I was looking at it. That he knows that he had to have a perfect season, pretty much. Very hard to do, but you can just tell the way he reacts, and you said it perfectly. Some other riders will crash, and either it doesn't matter about the points as much, or they know they'll get it down the road. But he could not lose any points in his eyes. So at this point, he's down like 20 something, but that's well said for that.
Yeah, I mean he has to win every race going forward. I think to give him a chance, because I don't believe Top Rock is gonna is gonna finish beyond second unless he has a mechanical or something or somebody takes him out.
Yeah, no, I don't know who's gonna be able to jump in front. It's gonna be the Lowe's brothers or Petrucci, just stall him out a little bit. I don't know.
What?
Well,
I don't see it happening. I'm just saying, like, no one's gonna stop Top Rack right now. So, like, he needs to have a mechanical crash or something. Hopefully, it doesn't happen. But for now, it looks like it's open.
Right.
Like, the points are just gonna increase.
Yeah, it looks like Batista is going to be the second best Ducati because of Redding's gone. Anoni has problems with his team, so they're not going to be together next year. So how much effort's really going to go into the rest of the season? And the Lowe's one of the Lowe's brothers have been crashing and stuff like that. Well, on a Ducati, not both on a Ducati. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not. It doesn't. He doesn't have any help. Bulaga. I mean, again, Bautista a little bit towards this last round because I think this is the best round he's had in a little bit. Other crashes not to his own, device, but still the best weekend. Do you think Ducati can pull it together before the end of the season to, play like a team like they used to play, and maybe stop Top Rock?
No.
Ah.
Top Rack show. This is a Top Rack show. That's all it is.
Bautista doesn't know how to play team sports.
Yeah, I think so.
He's a team with a capital I.
I mean, we've seen it last year. Top Rock basically ran away with the season. So he had that really bad accident that put him out a couple rounds where he knew that, the points was creeping back up on him, and he just probably went out there not even 100% just to finish out the year and still got the win. So, I mean, there's no coming back.
No coming back. Before we get out of here, is Aaron Canet going to roll Superbike?
I don't want that to happen.
That's your
I don't
death
think
penalty.
he wants to go.
I don't think he has a choice.
That's the death penalty. You go over there, boy. You go over there. You pack it up.
That's going backwards. This is going backwards. He's supposed to be going forward. I mean, it's still a good league, but
I told you guys a few shows back.
Right.
He's not going to see MotoGP.
Yeah.
If he wants to race at the top level and become something else, he got to leave Moto2. Him and Jake Dixon.
Gotcha.
And Jake Dixon's already looking for a World Superbike ride. So I think those guys have finally come to the realization that, that's MotoGP is not in their future.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit of lag there. We'll probably give it a few seconds, and you should catch up. I lost my. How am I getting that? I did have one more thing to say, but now it's completely gone. I think that's about it. MotoGP comes back next weekend. Excited about that, and I want to thank you guys for coming on, and we'll leave it there. Unless I'm missing something. What am I missing?
Nope.
Oh, Scott Redden. He won BSB. Is not that worth talking about?
No. Absolutely.
We'll talk about him when his team files a lawsuit against him for breach of contract. Then we can talk about him.
Yeah. Yes. That was
absolutely
pretty.
He's probably going to get a letter in the mail for breach of contract.
No kidding.
Like I hate to say it. I mean, I don't know what they're going to sue him for because it's not like he's got that much to get sued for. But it's a bad look. If you've got a contract, and I've said this with Martin and everybody else, if you have a contract with somebody, honor it. Do what you signed up to do. You signed the paperwork. You read it. If you don't like it after you read it, you should have read it better before you signed it. But once you sign it, live up to your commitment until the contract's over. Eat that crow, and next time, you know what? You're going to know better before you sign again. Or get better management, get better representation, people that are really looking out for you, that are going to look through the contract and make sure that they put you in the right place to be successful. But if you sign a contract with somebody, you break it, to me, man, that's a cardinal sin of not just racing, but business in general. That makes me not want to work with you. Even if I've never worked with you before, that puts you in the blacklist for me to work with you. So him and Martin and the guys that do that kind of thing, all they do is really turn off other people to want to work with them.
So does that mean the doors are closed for him to come to the U.S. next year?
I mean, in the U.S., who knows, man? Here it's a fucking shit show. Anything goes here. I mean, I did want to say one thing before I leave, because I normally don't like to praise Josh Herrin or the Warhorse team. If I fall over this chair while I say this, understand that I'm being struck dead for saying it.
Don't say it.
This weekend, they had a series sponsor for this one event. So the bike was painted a different color. It was like a Caterpillar yellow for like a heavy equipment machine. I thought it was Cat, but it's actually a different company that does heavy equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I got to give credit to that team and to Josh and whoever's working with them to go outside of this series to look for more money. because this is what we need. We need these guys that take the extra time and effort to go outside of the series and outside of our sport to try to bring more money into the sport. You know, we can't just keep depending on mission chips and Doritos and all these weird foods that nobody eats or give you diarrhea or whatever it is. Like, you need to go get real money and bring it into the series from things that are outside of this industry. And I got to give them credit for that. I got to give them, even if it was only for one round, they still brought in, you know, let's say they brought in 50, 60 G's just for this one round. That's still 50 or 60 G's that wasn't there before. The mechanics get paid. Josh gets a little bit more money. The team gets a little bit more help. Like, this is what we got to do, man. You can't just keep being, you know, M4 Suzuki, Vision Wheel Suzuki. I hate to say Attack Yamaha, you know. Like, go get yourself for some more sponsors that aren't within the industry, people that got deeper pockets. The series is becoming more and more popular, and the viewership is up. Like, I've seen some of the metrics. Viewership is up. Interactions are up. The metrics online are up. Everything across the board is looking positive for the growth of MotoAmerica. And we don't see it yet at the ground level, but the teams themselves can't wait for MotoAmerica to lift the series up. The teams themselves got to start doing that extra. Right. And find these sponsors, man. Find these people. I mean, I'm on the phone every week, 20, 30 hours a week, talking to people that have nothing to do with motorcycles to see if we can get into a TV show, into a movie, into this, into that, just to keep motorcycling in the zeitgeist, keep it in the culture, not just in the motorcycle culture, but in the general culture. You know, if I could put a motorcycle in a Bass Pro Shop, I put a motorcycle in a Bass Pro Shop. More people go to Bass Pro Shops than they go to Honda dealerships.
Right.
Like, again, man, these are the type of sponsors and relationships that we need to reach out to. These people have deep pockets, and, you know, like a Bass Pro Shop, that's as Americana as you can get. Let's approach these people. They do people in NASCAR and other races, even for a nominal amount of money, $200,000, $300,000. I mean, get your bike. You know, get the bike painted that for the season. $300,000 goes a long way. I mean, maybe not in Reese's case, because, you know, they got that nice trailer. It takes a lot of gas, but
yeah, they are the Patriots of MotoAmerica.
But I bet you if somebody told them, hey, here's $500,000 to paint the bikes this color, they would take it into serious consideration. That's $500,000. That takes care of all the travel for the entire team, including the bikes, probably for the entire year.
So, Reese, what it costs to paint everything red for a round?
That's Yamaha. That's a Yamaha.
They got their anniversary colors. It could be an anniversary, you know. It could be an anniversary knockoff, red and white.
I guess one every 19 years or something. No, you're absolutely right, Lewis. We're making a little bit of fun, but you're absolutely right. The sport has to grow, and it takes everyone. And you know, you guys are on the inside, so you know better than we do. So advice worth listening to. And on that note, we'll say good night until next week. It's the Be Forever Cool podcast. My name is Rex45. We got Reese from Attack Yamaha, the real Luis Ortega, the numbers guy, and the one and only TJ, Two Wheels and Coffee. Peace.
Peace.